I am Timothy, son of Timothy. Now, really, my dad's name's Timothy, my first name's Timothy, my middle name is Austin, so something you don't know. Oh, it's a sad day in the Burke household. The last season of The Last Kingdom, Season 5, is here today. We are going to talk about it. This is a spoiler-free review, but I need you guys down below. How did you feel about the epic finale of Uhtred's journey? We're going to get into it. If you like this video or these reviews, drop that thumbs up down below. So, years have passed since the events of the last season, and King Edward is still forging ahead with his ambitions to unite the Saxon Kingdoms to fulfill his late father's dream. Although a long-standing peace between the Danes and Saxons now exists, that harmony is under threat. Not only by a new Danish invasion, but a Saxon rebellion. Uhtred has been entrusted with protecting Edward's illegitimate son, the future King of England. We follow Uhtred as he faces his greatest enemies and suffers immeasurable loss on his quest towards fulfilling his destiny. Meanwhile, Edward treads a fine line between peacekeeper and authoritarian as he battles to bring together the fractured kingdoms of the land. So this season is all about Uhtred discovering that the quest to unite England, well, this may just be the quest that allows him to embrace his destiny. Now, if you have been following along, and like we do in every video, I do want to talk about the rating super quick. TVMA, meaning for mature audiences only. This show has never really been one for kids. Now, I will say a bit lighter on the sexual content this time around, only 1 or 2 scenes, but a lot of action, blood, gore, violence, cursing in there, but my goodness, getting into the action, that's the first thing I want to hit on in this season. Maybe more scattered in the first couple of episodes than we've seen in other seasons. We have different groups of various individuals. Now, they're all fighting for one cause, but we do inevitably get a lot of these groups coming together towards the end of the season for one final battle. Now, that battle is epic and amazing. But some of these smaller scale battles that we get in earlier episodes, anytime Uhtred is on screen, of course, that's going to be the most compelling. But the battles are incredible. Also, before we get into the story, the cinematography, it is top notch. There are occasional scenes with a bit too much shaky cam, a lot of close-ups in this season specifically, but a lot of that is to capture the emotion that we're trying to get from our familiar characters, and someone embracing their destiny like the character of Uhtred has to in this season, years removed from the tragedies of his past. Well, you want those closer moments and those very resonant shots, and we absolutely get them. And not to skip too far ahead, but there's one moment in the final episode that involves a couple of flashbacks, but it's a very intimate moment with one of our characters, because I don't want to spoil who is left by the finale. But oh my God, it is just the perfect way to wrap all of this up. And it's a very, Last Kingdom, yeah, it's a bro show, but I had a tear in my eye at that moment, not only because it was wrapping everything up, but because, man, just the way that they captured emotions in that moment. You just love to see it. Now, is this the ending? I know Netflix has greenlit a film that is supposed to serve as some sort of a true, concrete ending to this franchise, so this may not be the last we see of these characters. I'm not too sure on the specifics there, but with the finality of the series, and especially the culmination of this huge battle at the end, it does provide a nice sense of finality to all of the events that went on in the past couple of seasons. So if you're wondering, okay, up and down in certain seasons, they lean too heavily in certain things, I do believe Season 5 does a great job of wrapping up most every storyline. One good thing about this season, before I dive into specifics, is there's always a new problem or situation or a question that our characters have to answer in each episode, right? So each one presenting a new set of circumstances may not look like the best route to go, but I really do believe it served the overall season better, because there's one overarching storyline that I'll get into, and that really did bring everything together. So I love the script in this season, and that's not something I can say about every single season of The Last Kingdom. While I've enjoyed every season, I believe this is one of the more sharply written. The dialogue between the characters, the fact that it's been years since Season 4, you can feel that, and a lot of things have culminated over that time, so I really appreciated the attention to detail in Season 5. So at the beginning of the season, Uhtred is extremely concerned about the return of Brida. We get an awesome opening with the character of Brida, who, as we know, escaped slavery to kind of come back, and now she's on her path of revenge. She's sailing from Iceland to New York. She has a powerful army behind her, and she is on her way to see someone in particular. Now, you also have the plot against King Edward, ensuring that the grandson of Aethelhelm will take the throne eventually. So, again, there are a couple of, sieges going on, but then you have Uhtred and his people, and in the first episode, someone, I won't say who, arrives bloody, beaten up, broken, and that's when Uhtred knows, okay, it is about to go down, and it does. And that kind of ruins the flow of how Uhtred was feeling prior to that. He seemed happy, and this is the first time in a long time that we've seen him in that very zen state. And that's one thing that I love about this show and about this character specifically is as much as he goes through in this series, and especially in this season, he still remains this honorable soldier. He still remains the fighter with that same mentality. I am Uhtred, son of Uhtred, that we know and love. And to go through all that he's went through and then to see more of that devastation in the first episode specifically, but as we go, it continues to get worse. This may be one of the best character studies that we've seen in a long time with a show like this. There's also that Game of Thrones flair, okay, who's going to be sitting on the throne at the end of this series? How will these battles inevitably lead certain people to go in different directions? And all the characters that we know and love are there, all of the ones that survived prior events, but don't be too shocked if there are characters that you know and love that do not survive this season, because as we know with war, there are always going to be those who don't make it, and those also lead to some very sad moments in this season. I won't lie, some of them got me, some of them frustrated me, but they never came across as forced, and they never came across as unbelievable. I got an email. All in all, I think the biggest question you have for me is, Austin, did The Last Kingdom Season 5 really take it out on a high note? And I feel like it did, right? A couple of unanswered questions along the way, and there are still some resolutions with characters that I didn't quite get, but overall, I was really happy. I love this character. He is one of my all-time favorites on Netflix and in this genre as a whole. You've got Vikings, your Game of Thrones, your The Last Kingdoms, but The Last Kingdom, I mean, it is firmly in that conversation as one of my favorite Netflix shows of all time, and I think this season, after a couple of up-and-down seasons, really cemented that. Aelswith, King Edward, Brida, all of these characters, they are so fleshed out, but of course, Alexander Dreymon as Uhtred, my goodness. Before I give you guys my score, thanks so much for being here. Again, stay tuned to this channel. If you're not subscribed, that would be awesome. My analytics are always telling me, hey, there's a lot of people watching this that aren't subscribed. So if you want to join me watching all of the shows and movies on streaming that I can, I appreciate that. And of course, your thumbs up is the best way to tell me you like this video. The culmination of this epic journey will provide longtime fans more than enough to be satisfied with. Uhtred is a top tier character. This is a 9 out of 10 season. I'm going to 90%. I want to let it sit a bit longer, just if I need to raise my score higher to like a 92 or a 95, because I literally just finished it a couple of hours ago. But as of now, just know that you're going to get a lot of satisfaction out of this ending, and the character study of Uhtred is awesome. It's just awesome. So I really enjoyed it. Only one or two moments that a bit slow. Maybe the pacing was off because it is 10 episodes. But overall, man, knocked it out of the park. Appreciate you for watching. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon.